Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in and welcome back to my show. So today I want to talk about how New York is brainwashing you, how they are making you slaves. You see, in 2024, there will now be a charge in the spring of 2024 for literally driving through Manhattan. There is going to be a charge in 2024 for driving through Manhattan in the spring of 2024. Now, I go to New York twice a year at the very minimum, and a lot of the times I drive. And I'm just now starting to think that I'm actually going to start flying out there, but I have entourages and people that I take with me. So, driving would be more affordable. But I mean, and it's still going to be more affordable even with this upcharge. But this is how they make you slaves. Now, a lot of people are already on government assistance. A lot of people are already feeling as if they can't apply for better income jobs because they'll lose their stipends, they'll lose their housing, they'll lose their food stamps, they'll lose this. And so people don't necessarily think about how to become better so that they don't need it, how to make twice as much money so that they don't need it. Because in order to get there, a lot of the times you have to do it in increments. You have to take bit by bit, smaller and smaller steps all the way to the top. And so a lot of the times people will bow out. They'll take the easy way out. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. And what that is I am not going to lose these benefits because I'm scared of what life looks like without these benefits. And once you're already in that situation, once you're already in a position to where you're living off the government, it is hard for you to purchase a vehicle. It's hard for you to buy a car. It's hard for you to leave the environment that you're currently in because you are already reliant. You're reliant on the government. Now, let's say you do have a vehicle. Let's say you're so used to public transportation, you're used to the trains, you're used to the buses, you're used to all this stuff. You've seen how dirty the train station is. You've seen how rats are infesting the entire city of New York. You see how no matter where you go, there's piss in the elevators. There's piss everywhere. There's so many project buildings that smell like urine. The doors are wide open. Security cameras are down. The key fob holders don't work. Right? Mail getting stolen every single day. I hear it all the time. Mail is getting stolen in New York every single day. They don't even know what's in it, but they want it. It's theirs now. You have a vehicle. You have to pay an egregious amount to have a vehicle in New York already just for the licensing, just for the insurance. Why? Hit and runs. Why? Tons of car accidents. But why? It's tons and tons of people. So I'm pretty sure that there's not a lot more in terms of percentage of accidents as there are people in any other state in the world. But you're going to pay more because you live in New York City and they expect you to have more money. Now, you're already paying more for the car. You already got the nice car because you're in New York. You want to stand out. You already have the insurance. You're already limited on what you can do because a lot of the times you got subsidized housing. You got all this other stuff that is literally dragging you down. The only thing that you're able to do now is travel. Use that vehicle, travel to Philadelphia. Use that vehicle, travel to Washington, D.C., travel to Pittsburgh, travel to Ohio, travel to Texas. Drive, drive, drive. But now, even in your own city in Manhattan, you're going to pay $9 to $23 just for driving through Manhattan. On top of all the money you're already paying. And why? They say they're going to use that money in order to improve the roads. The roads haven't been maintained in a long time. So now they need that money to improve the roads. Here's the issue I have with that. With all the money, with all the business, with all the traffic that New York gets every single year, it is hard for me to believe that there is another state that gets more tax dollars than New York City. It is extremely hard for me to believe that the way Manhattan looks every single day, that there is another state that is getting more money in tax dollars than New York City. And yet, they are going to charge for every single car that drives through Manhattan. A tax just for driving through the streets. When I tell you, this is not, how is this the land of the free? When you are charged for driving, you can't be free when you can't go nowhere. You're now more dependent on the buses, on the trains, and it's not leaving New York. You staying in New York and New Jersey. That's all you got. I don't know any train that goes through every single state. If you find that, please let me know. It's probably faster than a lot of this other transportation anyway. But I don't know a train that goes to every state. So, with that being said, you're now even more dependent. I know people who are scared to leave New York City. I know people who are terrified. They've never driven in their life outside of New York. They never stepped foot. They've never been on a plane for less than 2 hours to go to Miami Beach. That's the only place they know. They've never been out the country. They never spoke a different language. So of course they're terrified. And now they're being put in a bigger and bigger box. There are people who are leaving New York in hordes. They've been leaving New York all of 2022 and all of 2023. And now, just one more tax being added. One more tax being added. And they'll make it sound good. They'll make it sound like you're doing them a favor. You can't even keep your car on a street for 2 days without having to remove it before you get fined. I'm telling you, people will become slaves because at the end of the day, what is your options? What are the options that you have? You already feel like you're stuck. You don't even consider moving. You don't even consider that I shouldn't have to pay this. You'll protest for everything else except people charging you more and more and more. And it's the youth that protests. A lot of the youth don't even have vehicles. So what is there to protest? There's nothing to protest. So now all the people who are struggling to get by, taxi drivers, all this and that, Uber drivers, they're now going to have to charge you more as a consumer. Why? All because you wanted to drive into Manhattan. So now people won't even drive into Manhattan. Stop me at the Brooklyn Bridge. Is that what we're going to do now? Stop me at the Brooklyn Bridge. I'll walk from there. More scooters, more bicycles. Maybe people will start to lose some weight. That'll be good for the fitness industry at the very least. Maybe I should think about opening a business there, starting a fitness industry. But they already got New York City bicycles, so there's no way that I can make my own little bicycle thing. But a fitness industry in Manhattan with all that free space and all those empty buildings that they got now due to COVID and people not wanting to return back to work could easily make a little gym. Don't even need nothing in there but equipment. Don't need to renovate nothing, just put equipment in there. Boom. Super, super cost friendly. Right in the middle of Manhattan. Just got the mind moving, just got the mind going. But at the end of the day, making money because because of people feeling suppressed, people feeling like they're doing a little bit more, working a little more, moving a little bit more. That's not okay. That's not okay. Not even for me. And yes, I do believe people are becoming slaves. If you weren't already, understand that they're taking away a privilege. They're taking away a right of yours to travel freely, to move as you please. In spring of 2024, if there was ever a time to protest, and I'm never someone who goes out and argue and do all this stuff, but you are literally losing freedom. I can understand charging more for the subway, charging more for the bus. And then there's people who don't want to pay that Manhattan charge. Those who are disabled, living off the government already. Those who are police, living off the people, taxpayers already. So like everyone who pays is the hardworking citizen who's actually doing what they're supposed to do. That's it. The middle class is always the one being taxed. And I'm not saying the disabled should have to pay this. I'm not saying the police should have to pay this. I'm saying no one should have to pay this because the middle class is taxed enough. They're broke. They're poor. They're the worst of the worst. The poor is living off of the government. The middle class is paying for them to live, and the rich aren't driving anywhere. They're in every beach that you can find, talking to each other over Skype and having parties every single week. They're not worried about Manhattan and their $23. Manhattan isn't getting their $23. They're too stingy for that, and there's no money that they need to make in Manhattan that's going to make them pay that charge. Okay. So again, the middle class is always going to suffer, and I was middle class for some time as well. When I was working in that restaurant industry, when I was making that 50 to 65, there's no upside to that unless you use that money wisely and garner assets and build a business. So again, don't be a slave. Be free. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.